Hello everybody, this is Carol from Friendly Quail and it's Try Something New Tuesday. I've been having fun playing with this technique. It's something I saw on Art and Craft with Karen Elaine from 2 years ago. So I will be listing her video down below in the description box if you'd like to go see hers. And what it is washi tape collage elements. So I've played with this blue. I had a bag of washi tape that I was never using, ready to go into like the Goodwill or thrift store box. And I pulled those out. And I did my first one with these blues. Now I used all the blues except this one I thought was a little bit dark. But there's all different kind of, I don't know if I use this one or not, but I definitely know I use this one, even though it's, it's a darker color, but it's in the same family of colors in that kind of aquas, and this one has a little green in it. And then they had, a lot of them had words on, which you can see on the pieces, that like this is part of love. It just says of, I could have covered part of that up if I wanted, but it's the excuse me, the gold on it really jumps out when you see that. So it's kind of fun. And then I used a stencil, this stencil as a matter of fact, and used that to cut this one out. I used another stencil for this one. And I will show you, you can see ink on here, and I cut around the outside, and I'll show you how to do that. It's brilliant, the way she uses her stencils to mark. And then I made some out of, move that out of the way, out of these colors that I use in my grungy journals. And I cut my own handmade stencil, and I'll show you that in a little bit, for this bird. And I did it by using this stencil and then blowing it up on my computer, on my printer. I mean, I could make it a lot bigger. So I fooled around and made it, and then I made a stencil, and I can show you how I made the stencil a little bit later. But this is what I was working on last, and I did a big piece. This piece that I did the blue out of, it was on a scrap piece of cardstock type scrapbook paper. And I did probably about a 7x6 piece or something like that. And this one's white on the back, but this one I did on a piece that looked like this, and I did it on this side, so it has this on the back. And I got to show you how brilliant her method is for using your stencil. And you can see too, like this is where this one was cut out of, right here. But you do it from the back, so you don't know, exactly what you're going to get till you turn it around. But this was a bigger piece. And I have one more to cut out that I think will fit here. And then what you use the leftovers is you cut out leaves and things like that. And I just did that freehand, and I'm no great artist that way, but it works. So now I'm going to I just pushed everything and got it out of the way. And, okay. Show you how she did how she marks her stencils. And you can see the black on here. I am using some black soot and a brush. And I'm just going to go over this stencil. I have it taped onto here with some low tack tape. You could do other things as well, but that's what seemed to work for me. So what I'm doing is just putting some of this black soot on the back. And when I take this up, then it's left that silhouette, because that's basically what these are, silhouettes. And then I just go ahead and I cut it out from this side. And whatever method you like to do your fussy cutting, I really like this particular scissors. It's something from Japan, and I've used it for paper and things like this for years, and it still is sharp. And I like it better than my I'm going to cut this off now, than my Tim Holtz one, because the Tim Holtz ones have serrated edges and this doesn't. So I actually like this better. So I'm just kind of cutting it around that silhouette with the black soot that I put on there. And it's just a lot easier than tracing and then cutting on a line. Just took seconds to do. And I just thought that was a brilliant idea that Karen Elaine had. I got black soot now on my hands, so I'm just cutting around, and this is going to be my my latest bird that I can use in a bird journal or nature journals. I'm fooling around. When I show you about the new stencil, it's a different one of the bird poses. This one is like a bird on the ground where its wings are down. And I've kind of found another one that it's like flying or starting to fly. I got two of them. So I am getting some of this on my fingers. But I still think it's brilliant to do it this way. I got supper cooking. And I thought, I'm going to take a few minutes and do this video. Yep. There. So that's my latest bird. And they look good no matter what. You know, and some of them, like this one has a little wider in here. Doesn't matter. The feet are a little different on some of them. Doesn't matter. They all look good. And now I would use this leftover to cut something like this. And I just cut myself a stem. You can curve it. You can make it bigger. This one I'm going to make bigger. Yeah. Okay. I'm kind of making this one a bigger leaf than the other one was. And this has a more straight end. See? Just like that. Now for this one, and I can cut all of this into leaves and things like that. I did, where did I put that? Yeah, I don't know. But I've got a piece here, and I'm going to show you about how you do the washi collage. I'm going to do this one in pinks. And, you know, to be honest, most of the ones I do lately are more grubby, but I sometimes do these, and I think it would be fun. So these are all the pinks that I have. This one is actually yellow, so I'm going to throw that one back in. This one's yellow. These were just, and that's a silver. I got so many of these shiny silver ones. Okay, this one has pink and yellow in it, so I would use that. This one. This is mostly gold, but it has pink, but I think it might work. Oh, here is like a light pink. Now sometimes, like this is purple, I'm not going to do that one. This has a lot of gold in it. This is good. This is good. Okay. So I kind of got all my pinks out here. Now this one is kind of dark, but I sometimes, in what I've done so far, have used this as a base and covered up most of it so that some of the stuff peaked. And I also am going to get a glue stick to put this on. This one's getting near the end, and it's really gotten worn down in the center from me using it, but it still works. I'm going to get some of this black off my fingers. And I keep the sandy for getting glue off, too. Okay. I'm only going to do a little one. If you do it because washi tape can be transparent, you might see some of the design below it. So pick something that you don't mind coming through, if that happens. And then you're going to pick small pieces, put a little glue on it. Some of these are a little bigger since it's going to be more underneath. I made a unicorn journal, and I had bought this for that, and I just haven't used it since. Made it for someone special who loved unicorns. And then sometimes I put it upside down because I never know which direction I'm going to be using it. Okay. I also like to let this dry before I cut it out, because they're sticky, and the sticky will eventually go away. I mean, you know, it'll be hardened on there, kind of. That doesn't make sense that the sticky would go away. The sticky is still stuck on the paper. Okay, let's see. I think I will use a little bit of this on the bottom, too, if I can find where the beginning is. Here we are. Hello, sunshine. And now I'm putting this one on. There's pink in there, but it's a little bit more for the gold, I think. And you just kind of start putting it on. Sometimes I use smaller pieces. And I will, whoops, thought I had it still on me. Put it on top of other pieces. Put them in different directions. Use that one kind of on the edge. Sometimes I use, you know, much smaller pieces. Okay, and maybe one more. I have a lot of different colors to use, so no, that way. All right, and you can always come back and use some of the same ones on here. I think a lighter pink. This one also has some gold in it. Okay. So basically, it's just like making any type of collage. Put things on different ways. Upside down, you know, unless you want it all going one way, that would be okay too. But then you have to think more about how you're going to put your pattern on, your stencil. Let's see. Let's get this one over here. I have so many different ones, and this is kind of a small piece that I should really be adding more colors or more pieces. But that will work. Okay. Let's see. This has pineapples. This has words. Amazing, awesome. Put a little of that on. And one thing I learned from quilting is that color should not all perfectly match, because it's much more interesting when you're finished. So I'm using some different pinks on here because it will look a lot better than if I had all one shade. That gets boring. Okay, whoops, that one's not, see it likes to come up yet when it's not dry. Once the glue dries, it'll stick down. All right, let's put one just sort of in the middle. And now, let's see, this one has little dots on it. It's kind of a peachy or pink. Find the end, where is it? I know it's here somewhere. There it is. Okay, sometimes I use the little ones a little bit more to on the top when I just have a little bit left to cover. Like, see, there's a, you know, if I put a big piece down in here, it might not cover that, so I'll just put a littler piece there, and that'll help. My hands are starting to get gluey. I'm gonna wipe it off. Put a little bit more of this pink on here. This lighter color. And then you can see through this a little bit and see the color underneath it. This is a really light pink. Kind of a shiny, it's got little hearts on it, and it's shiny. Very pretty. I like to put some lighter ones on. Let's see here. That one went underneath the edge a little bit. Okay. If I find up a spot that didn't get glue on, just kind of put a little more glue on the edge. Maybe I didn't get it totally to the edge. Let's see. Oh, I'll put a little bit more of this on. Some of this washi tape is really old. really, really old. I've had it a long time. Let's see here. So that's what you just keep doing. This one's like a little more purpley, but I think it'll work if I find the edge here. Some of these edges are hard to find. Ah, here it is. If it's in the middle of a word or something, you can see it, but it wasn't. This one's not ripping real good, but if I get it started, it'll work. Okay. So some have gold on, some have white on. Yeah, anyway, hope everyone's doing well, like I started to say, and that you're enjoying time with your family. And my son is on a break, just finished one of his terms at college. You know, he's an adult, he doesn't live here, but he is going to come over next week and next Sunday and spend some time with us. We don't get to see him a lot during the time he's in college because he goes to college and works full time. Let's see. This is, it's sticking on my hands. As you start, you know, getting more on, then you start kind of filling in where the holes are. Like I've got a hole here, a couple there, more around the edges. Sometimes I like to have some that just go across the edge like that. I like that gold in here. It's really shining up. I mean, if you're going to go for this kind of color, it's really pretty to have the gold in there. Let's see, how about there? And I am going over other pieces, and you can see like a little bump where I went over it, but I don't worry about that. I just keep going and going and going. Let's get this up in this corner up here. Turn it a little bit to cover that whole thing. It's going over the edge, which doesn't matter as long as I don't want to stick down, but let's see, maybe down, maybe a little bit more. Now you can see why I'm doing a smaller one, because this does take some time. All right, let's see, I'm going to use this one with the little stripies on it. Okay. Stuck on me. I got my little garbage can over here. My little garbage bowl, I should say. Okay. Still stuck on me. After a while, I go wash my hands because sometimes it just needs soap to get it all off you. It doesn't want to go away. I think I had fur on me. All right. I do have glue on me, I know. Okay, there was that one spot that there was just a little bit showing through. Where was that? Here. All right. I have been getting ready to do another video with my leisure arts, or leisure hours, I mean. And, let's see here. I'm getting ready to start doing more decorating. I haven't sewed the signatures in, of course, because I'm trying to show everything for newer people who maybe haven't done it before, that you can see what kinds of steps that you go through to do it. Get a little more of this on here. I didn't use that pineapple one yet. I want to use that one too. Let's see. I never try to put them like exactly the same direction as they were before. Here's the pineapple. Let's get some bigger pieces of that on. Here it is. If it doesn't rip, you can cut it too. I do like to rip it myself, but if you don't like doing that or it's not ripping well for you, go ahead and cut it. It's just faster to rip it. This would probably make a really pretty flower. But you can do anything with it. You could have a bird out of pink. Let's see here. I think that you probably are getting the drift here. It's just that it takes time, and even for the small piece, it's taken me a while. But of course, I don't mind when I'm doing something that brings me joy, which crafting does. And I just will enjoy kind of going into the Zen, you know, the meditative part of it. And just kind of keep going. And I think I should have done an even smaller one. Look, and this is the lighter pink. With the darker ones, I did use some white. I used the white with the music on it, and that worked. Also, to just because it went over other stuff, so it wasn't white, but it kind of brought out a lighter color in it, which is nice. I think my fingers are getting sticky, way sticky. Yep, didn't even want to come off. Oh, do I want to put some of this on? Maybe. I don't know. This one has white paper on the back. So that means it'll probably be sticky enough without glue. Let's put a piece might even rip it in half. Because that could be really, that could really stand out. Yeah, I think that's okay. Put a little more. Not huge pieces. To get that off, just score it a little bit with a pin, and then it'll usually split, and then you can pull it off. There. So there's another storm brewing out in the Atlantic, but I don't think it's going to come over this way from what I can see. That would be nice. Don't need another one so close together. Even though we didn't get the worst part of Debbie in our part of the state, it's always a little bit iffy. There we go. Maybe like to balance stuff like this and put it on. But I think I also need to put some bigger pieces on here. Maybe some of this again, because this is more underneath. Now this I'm putting off the edge kind of on purpose. Let's see. So the Olympics are coming to an end. How many of you have been watching that? I've only watched a little bit. My husband watched a lot more than I did. Not as into sports as he is. He was getting really hot about the basketball game. Games, I should say. Especially the women's at the end. It was so close. They were both close, actually. But he used to be a coach and all that kinds of stuff, so he really gets into that. Okay. So, let's get something on here. Got a little bit of that white under there that isn't part of that. A little bit more and I'll be done. A lot of this got more underneath, so we'll put a little bit more of that on. And on that is what you keep doing until you got it covered. I really want to get this done. I want to show you how I made the stencil. Almost done here. Seems like the last part's taking me forever. Got a little bit more right here and a little bit more right there. And depending on what you do, you might not even, notice any of this. One little piece of this on down there. And I might not go all the way to the edge. That part might be even thrown away, but I want to make sure that I have enough for whatever direction I decide to go. There. All right, and I'm going to look all this over, and I do not see, maybe a little there, but I bet I won't use that edge. Now, if you have a few white edges and you don't want, you can use a little distress ink on there. Like, I probably would even use some pink or something, is pinkish color on here. And that is ready for when it's dry. I'm just going to push this out of the way. When I did my pictures, I just used that stencil, that little stencil, rubbed on some ink, and then I went ahead and blew it up, and I just kind of drew around here because I lost my edges a little bit. So what I'm going to do is just tape this on. This is some low tack tape, which I basically tend to use for my Big Shot. And I'm going to cut it with an X-Acto knife right on this glass top. And I have a new blade in here, brand new blade. I start at corners and come down into the middle, because it doesn't matter if I make a cut into that middle, because that part is going to be taken out. So here we go. Yeah, it's going very well. I did this on my, this is the part I started on, right? Okay, so I want to go this way now. I did this on my cutting mat, and it was a lot easier to do it on the glass. It cuts through much easier on the glass than it did on the cutting board. The cutting board, it goes down into the groove, and it doesn't always cut all the way through this. This is file folder, by the way. I think I forgot to say that. You can kind of see if you've made it through on the back, and I did not make all of that through. So you just keep working at it. Just keep working. I am not very strong, and this is kind of hard for me to do. Now, my best method is say to my husband, "Will you please do this for me, please?" And bat my eyelashes at him. Yeah. I'm not making it all the way through. I did not make it all the way through right here. I'm definitely through the paper, but not the cardboard. The file folder. Darn it, I just put a new blade in there and it's already, seems like it's not doing as good. Oh, I think it probably does dull quickly. I guess this is where we should not. It's actually on this side, it's not through. We should not be stingy with our blades if it's going to make it a lot easier to do. Okay. And if you don't do it exactly on the line, it really doesn't matter because it's going to be close enough. I try to get as close as I can on it. And like I said, come from the corner in. Then if you go into this middle part, that's the part that's cut out. So it won't matter. I am not an expert at making stencils. And I'm only using it, got stuck on my arm. I am only using it within card stock here. I don't know if I did this part right here. Didn't get all the way through if I did. Okay, we're doing good. All right. The long lines really seem to go a lot easier than when you're doing the short things with like the wings or the feet. All right, I have to be careful with this because I'm going to be starting at one point and going to another. However, even if I go through a little bit, the way you do this on the back, it works pretty good. Okay, I have this bird's head. This part here. Get the beak here. The little curve. It's the last part. I got glue on my finger, or something stuck on my finger. Almost done, almost done. I'm going to go on this side. I can see where it didn't go through here. Yay! Okay, now take the rest of that off. And my little tack is sticking down more than I like it to. Okay, so that one is now done. And you're just going to kind of cut it out around the edge. Now you can cut it out square, but you can't see through it. So it's easier to be able to make sure you're all on the edge and that. So I'm just going to cut this one down like this. And let's see. All my birds are looking that way, so I'm going to put it on like that and make it look the other way. And I'm going to see, how can I do this? I'm going to use this pink right here. It's probably pretty dry. I'm just going to hold this on. Even if it goes underneath the edges a little bit, as long as you can see where your main line is, that's what you need to be able to do. Okay, and cut it out, and that'll be it for today, and I will show you that in a sec, because this won't take long to cut like this. Now I can reuse my stencils. I can turn it over so I can face them no matter which way I want them to face. I can get it done. This will be a bird taking flight. And it is a silhouette, so I'm sure this is supposed to be one wing and that's the wing on the other side. And I think maybe with the leftovers, I might just try to cut like a flower shape. And let's see what happens. I'll do that on my own. I'm not going to hold you here too much longer. But it's fun. It's just time consuming, but I think it's a cool idea. And there is my little bird. I like it. Okay, so thanks for being with me today. And I still ended up taking almost 50 minutes, so I'm glad you bared with me if you're still here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all my subscribers, and this is Friendly Quail saying bye.